the Democrats, they lost a crazy contest to a crazy person. You know, I totally get that.
I don't know that that is the case
You
though.
don't think he's a crazy person.
I don't. I actually don't. I don't think he's a paragon of morality, but I also don't think that the
Not talking about
country,
morality. That's
right?
a
But
different issue.
I would say though, I mean, listen, there's certainly lots of details that one can add or subtract to this conversation, but in brass tacks general terms, the 4 years of his presidency were significantly better than the 4 years of the Biden-Harris presidency and vice presidency.
What is up, everyone? In this clip from the Club Random podcast, we have Bill Maher and Zachary Levi having a very, very interesting debate. This is one of those moments where Hollywood meets politics, and let me tell you, it's a wild ride. Levi, who's known for his roles in Shazam and Chuck, isn't holding back whatsoever as he challenges Maher's take on Trump. He makes some very interesting points that I'm actually pretty surprised by and generally did not expect from him. So without spoiling anything, let's just get into this clip where I'll be giving you my rebellious takes when it makes sense. So let's get into it.
Well, there's so much more complicated
I know that's what I'm saying. I understand it's more
factors
complicated.
that move into that.
Sure, fine. And
Like
people say,
Obama-
well, it was Obama's economy that he inherited. Oh, okay, but fine. But hold on a second. Save COVID, which was not in his power
Right.
at all.
It was
He did not just maintain that economy, he made it even better. Our border was more secure, our economy was more secure, crime rates were down. I mean, this wasn't like
we weren't doing anything to because that side does not really believe in the emergency of environmental catastrophe. So that to me is one of the two deal breakers on the right. They don't really get it about the environment. And the other one is democracy. They don't get that. So those are my two issues that are important to me as a voter. So that's
that's as it should be. I mean,
right.
and you're
but
entitled
those are the two big weak points on the right. Very weak on that. I mean, Trump's environmental position is for clean air and clean water, right? And as long as it's the end of the water bottle he's sipping out of, that's as far as he looks into it. Okay. I mean, the plastic in the ocean is not getting any better. And that crowd it's not even on their radar.
Alright, so Maher's main big point in the first part of this clip is getting into the environmental and democracy arguments. Maher is basically trying to say the right is completely clueless on these issues. And to be honest, I'll say this, which is the right is not necessarily the, save the planet, super green earth types of politics. But the issue that I have is the left acts like they are the only ones who care about the planet. But then they try to push policies that don't actually solve anything. For example, they'll scream about plastic straws while ignoring the fact that most of the plastic in the ocean comes from countries like China and India. But hey, as long as we're all using paper straws, we're saving the planet, right? And when it comes to democracy, the left's version of saving democracy seems to involve silencing anyone who disagrees with them. They'll call for censorship, deplatforming, and even criminalizing speech they don't like, all in the name of protecting democracy. But isn't democracy supposed to be about open debate, differing opinions? That argument almost makes no sense. And what's even more frustrating is how the left uses these issues as moral bludgeons. If you don't agree with their specific solutions, you're labeled as anti-environment or anti-democracy. But the thing is, you can care about the environment without supporting the Green New Deal. And you can care about democracy without wanting to pack the Supreme Court or abolish the Electoral College. Levi also clearly doesn't agree with this black and white thinking, and it's pretty refreshing to see someone in Hollywood actually doing that. Of course, you guys are free to let me know your thoughts down in the comments, but let's go ahead and continue on to this remainder of this clip in the second part of this clip that I've gone and stitched in here that I think is extremely, extremely relevant as well.
They don't even give a shit about it. So, you're not going to, these people who think, well, we're going to get Bill over to our side.
Oh, no. I'm not trying to get you over at any side.
I mean,
I just like having the intellectual conversation.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. Conversations. But all of the people on the left that might want to cut off their family, and by the way, some people on the right too might be guilty of this. It's because of the bullshit that the legacy media has been saying over and over and over and over again, Bill. I mean, when you have almost every network television show, other than Fox News, when all the rest are saying Hitler, 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 and all of his supporters are Nazis, and Madison Square Garden is a Nazi rally, and all of these things, of course you're going to spin all of these people watching that into a tizzy of fear that, and so it's
as
like,
long as you acknowledge that Fox News invented spinning people into a tizzy
Bill,
over,
that's not true.
over bullshit.
That is not true.
Fox News doesn't have a history of bullshit.
Of course they do, but they're
Oh.
not the one who started it. Fox News was a response to, because all of the rest of the media was basically more left leaning, and Fox News was like, okay,
Okay, but they could have been right leaning and not also completely journalistically.
I agree.
Alright, I think this is a good spot to pause as well, because I have to say this. I'm not here to pretend any major news network is innocent here. Fox News has absolutely had its fair share of controversies, from Tucker Carlson's scripts being leaked to the whole Dominion voting system lawsuit. But here's the thing. Like Levi is quick to point out, Fox News was created as a response to the overwhelmingly left-leaning media landscape. Before Fox News, the media was basically a monolithic echo chamber for progressive ideas. Fox News isn't some paragon of journalistic integrity, and neither is CNN or MSNBC. They are all guilty of spinning narratives, cherry-picking facts, and pushing agendas. The difference is Fox News is at least upfront about its bias, while others pretend to be natural while clearly favoring one side. What's even more interesting is how Maher tries to paint Fox News as the sole villain in the media landscape. It's like saying, sure, the rest of the media might lean left, but at least they're not Fox News. But come on, you can't act like CNN hasn't had its own share of bullshit. Remember when they claimed the Hunter Biden laptop story was Russian disinformation? Or when they spent years pushing the Russia collusion narrative that turned out to be a whole lot of nothing? This is just a very one-sided critique, and the truth is the entire media industry is broken. It's not about informing the public anymore, it's about ratings, clicks, and pushing narratives. And until we acknowledge that, we're just gonna keep spinning in circles. And also, that's a part of the reason why I'm here and why this channel even exists, so yeah. Let's go ahead and see Levi's response to this, and also the final part of this clip, which I think is probably the most important.
That's why I include them in all of that. I think there are some people on each one of these networks that tries to actually step out and be honest.
I gotta say, you don't seem like the complete idiot that the people on the left said you were. I'm terribly disappointed. You're a very thoughtful, articulate guy who knows a lot.
Well,
how could that possibly be a Trump voter? And this is what I keep trying to say to people. No, I don't mean that in a bad way.
No.
I mean, you have to accept that in people, that there are places, and people must know this from the relationships they're in. You must know that you're with a person as a friend, as a lover, whatever, and 80% of it is you're aligned, and then there's 20% where you're like, wow, that person's just nuts on that. But what can you do? And the answer is accept.
This is funny. Bill is absolutely baffled that someone like Zachary Levi, an intelligent, articulate, and thoughtful guy, could possibly be a Trump supporter. And honestly, this says more about Maher than it does about Levi. It's this kind of elitist, condescending attitude that drives people away from the left. Because Maher's basically saying, if you're smart, you can't possibly support Trump, which is a pretty bold take. Levi isn't some uneducated redneck stereotype that the left loves to make out Trump voters to be. He's a successful actor, a critical thinker, and someone who clearly doesn't just parrot whatever the mainstream media tells him to believe. And honestly, this is just a general problem with so much of this anti-Trump rhetoric. It's no longer about disagreeing with his policies, it's just about painting his supporters as stupid, evil, or crazy. The idea that only dumb people support Trump is not just wrong, it's kind of dangerous. The left can't seem to wrap their heads around the fact that smart, decent people might have legitimate reasons for supporting Trump. I mean, this is something that I believe, which of course all of you can let me know if you agree. If someone wins the presidency, they did not win because all of their supporters are dumb. You have to understand how much it truly takes to win a presidency. You have to get the majority. You have to get most of the electoral college, right? You don't do that by having all of your supporters just be dumb, stupid rednecks that don't know what they're talking about. That doesn't make any sense. At least that's just what I think. Of course, as always, I'd love to hear what you think. Is Maher's shock justified, or is he just revealing his own elitism? Can smart, thoughtful people support Trump, or is that some kind of contradiction? Let me know down in the comments below. Be sure to give us a like and subscribe, and as always, we'll see you guys in the next one.